Long ago, in the deep corners of the galaxy, there were stories. Stories of creatures with fire in their hearts and stars in their hands. They were called humans. Some believed they were gods. Others believed they were monsters. But most believed they never existed. Now, in the year 9274 Galactic time, those stories were just forgotten legends. Captain Roll of the Yenneer Empire was not like other leaders. He did not laugh at old tales. He studied them. He searched the dead parts of space where no light touched, hoping to find something strange, and one day he did. His ship, the Zarek Blade, was flying near a black, silent star. No life, no planets, no movement. But suddenly, the ship's sensors picked up a signal. Faint, broken, ancient. "Commander, this is impossible," said the young officer, staring at the screen. "This signal is human." Captain Roll stood up, opened the data. The crew watched in silence as strange images filled the screen. Humans fighting wars, humans dancing, humans standing in fire and smiling. Strange music played, mixed, with words none of them could understand. "What is this?" someone whispered. Rahl's eyes were cold.
Always.
"This is a warning." They had found an old satellite, rusted, floating in space for thousands of years. Its outer shell was cracked, but the core still worked. Carried human history, wars, peace, inventions, and one final message. Translated into Galactic Standard, "We were here. We saw you. We left because we chose peace. Do not come looking. You won't like what you find." The Yenneer Council didn't care. When Captain Roll returned with the satellite, the ministers laughed. "Humans, just fairy tales." One said, "Probably." "A prank by some pirate species," said another. But Rahl knew better. He had seen the look in the satellite's AI. It's the way it watched them. He waited for weeks. And then he acted. Secretly, he sent a small scout ship with 5 elite explorers. Their mission: follow the coordinates hidden in the satellite. Find the source. Report back. 3 days passed. Then a single message came. Coordinates confirmed. Unknown structure found. Artificial, ancient, but active. "We are going in." Then silence. For hours, the Yenneer Empire waited. Finally, a broken voice came through static. "They're real. They're watching us." We woke something up, and nothing. The scout ship vanished. Captain Roll stood before the council again. "We must prepare," he said. "Something powerful is out there." The council rolled their eyes. "Legends do not shoot back," one minister said. "Humans are dust. You worry too much, Captain." But far away, in the cold of forgotten space, something had changed. Deep inside the asteroid field where the scout had gone, an old station blinked awake. Lights turned on one by one. Mechanical arms cleaned floors. Defense systems came online, and somewhere deep in the heart of that station, a single eye opened. The eye belonged to a human, not alive, not dead, sleeping in a metal pod, waiting for a signal. The signal had come. The Yenneer's visit had triggered something no one expected. Old machines began to move. Alarms sounded inside the ancient walls. The words played in a calm, robotic voice. "Alert. Visitors detected. Protocol 7A. Engaged. Awakening sequence initiated. Humanity... is returning." The stars outside the station blinked. Then a huge shadow passed. It was not an asteroid. It was a ship. It's an old human warship, black as night, with a name carved into its side. Un's Vengeance. Its engines glowed. Its weapons stayed quiet, but it had power. It had purpose. Inside, 100 more pods lit up. Humans once thought to be myths were waking from their long sleep. Captain Roll sat alone in his chamber, watching the last recording from the scout. A blurry figure appeared at the end of the video. Tall, armored, human. He stepped toward the camera and spoke one word: curious. Then the feed cut. Captain Rahl knew what this meant. He whispered to himself, the legends were true, and now they're awake. Somewhere, the music from the old satellite played. Once again, soft, haunting. We are the fire that sleeps in the cold. We are the silence before the storm. ... The galaxy did not know it yet, but its forgotten ghosts were returning. This time they were watching everything. The Yenir scout ship, Fauric 7, had vanished without a trace. No signal, no bodies, no answers. But Captain Roll had the last message. He watched it again, alone in his quarters. Static, a shaking camera, a blurry hallway made of black metal. Then, the voice of his lead scout panicked. It's not abandoned. Something's alive here, watching. We then silence. Rawl stood, his hands clenched behind his back. The council might laugh again, but he wouldn't, not this time. Something ancient had awakened, and it wasn't happy. He ordered a stealth cruiser, Shadowclaw, to head for the same coordinates. Quiet, no weapons fire, no contact. Just watch and record. 5 days later, Shadowclaw reached the edge of the asteroid field, and they saw it. In the middle of hundreds of dead rocks floated a structure, massive, black, and silent. A human outpost, forgotten by time. It didn't shine. It didn't speak. But it was there, like a ghost waiting in the dark. Pilot Saren whispered, "That thing is not dead." The ship scanned the outpost. Strange power signals, odd temperature, shifts, and a heartbeat. Yes, a heartbeat. Not from a person. From the station itself. "It's alive," said the science officer. "Not like us. But in its own way, it's thinking." Captain Roll, watching from far away, sent one command. "Enter carefully." Shadowclaw landed on a platform that extended suddenly from the side of the station, as if it knew they were coming. The team stepped out, 5 explorers. All trained, all ready. But none were ready for what they found. The door opened by itself. No creaks. No rust. The metal was perfect, like it had been cleaned yesterday. Inside it was quiet. No wind. No lights. Just walls that seemed to move when no one looked. As they walked deeper, motion sensors activated the lights above them. A soft white glow lit the corridors, one step at a time. Then, a voice echoed. "Welcome, visitors. You have entered Outpost Sentinel, United Nations Space Command. Please wait for humanity's arrival." The team froze. The voice continued calmly, like a museum guide. "This facility is under sleep mode protocol. Emergency status, reawakening initiated. Estimated time for first contact, 72 hours. Do not proceed further." But they did. They walked past empty halls, past windows that showed distant galaxies. The place was huge. It's like a city floating in a tomb. Then they saw it, a room full of pods. Each one held a human inside, eyes closed, frozen in deep sleep. Lieutenant Corell touched the glass of one pod. The human inside had a scar across his face, and a smile, like he was dreaming of war. "These people are not dead," Corell said. "They're waiting." A loud sound echoed behind them. Metal footsteps. They turned. Weapons up, from the shadows walked a figure, tall, armored, moving like a machine. A human, but not like any human in their books. This one had eyes glowing faint blue, a strange mark on his chest, and a voice that made the walls tremble. "I warned you not to come further," he said. "The team didn't shoot. They were frozen." This was real, a living human, awake, watching. He stepped closer. "I am Commander Riven. This place is not yours. We left the galaxy to keep peace. But you brought war back to our door." Saren tried to speak. "You didn't mean." Riven raised a hand. "You came where you were not welcome, and now the others will wake." Suddenly, alarms rang. Through the outpost, red lights flashed. The Kamei voice returned. "Security breach confirmed. Humanity reawakening sequence accelerated. Estimated time 6 hours." The pods around them began to hum. Lights turned green. One by one, the frozen warriors began to stir. Commander Riven stared at the team. "You have seen too much. You cannot leave. It's your people. They still have time. One message. Choose your words well. He handed them a small device. Communicator Saren took it with shaking hands. What do we say? Riven turned toward the pods as more humans opened their eyes. He said, "Tell your leaders this. The legends are real, and they remember everything." The Shattucklaw team returned to their ship, hearts racing. They escaped the asteroid field. The outpost behind them came to life. Massive defense cannons emerged from its sides. Drones began flying in perfect patterns. And in the distance, more human ships powered up. The humans were no longer sleeping. Captain Roll received their message. He played the recording. Riven's voice was cold but clear. "We watched. We waited. You crossed the line. Now we return, not for war, but for truth. We gave peace once. We may not give it again." Rawl stood silent. The galaxy was about to remember the name they had tried to forget. Humanity. The galaxy had poked a sleeping giant. Across the stars, whispers began to spread. The humans, the mythical monsters, the ghosts of war, the old protectors were not only real. They were waking up inside Outpost Sentinel. Alarms echoed. Through every floor, the lights had turned red. Ancient systems, untouched for centuries, were fully online again. The walls shook as machines hummed to life. Commander Riven stood quietly in the awakening chamber, watching the stasis pods light up one by one. Each pod held a sleeping warrior, strong, deadly, and trained in old Earth wars. They had slept for over 1,000 years now. They were needed again. The Yenir scouting team had left, carrying Riven's warning back to their empire. Riven knew what would come next. Fear, panic, a fleet, and maybe another war. But humans were not what the galaxy remembered. Shh, not anymore. Behind Riven, a female voice spoke. Calm, strong, waking cycle complete. All combat leaders revived. Requesting orders, sir. Riven turned. Begin full station recovery and contact the Vengeance. Far above the outpost, hidden deep in the asteroid field, the old warship In's Vengeance had powered up. Its engines were warm. Its weapons were waiting. And its crew, once thought long dead, were now slowly returning to life aboard the Vengeance. Captain Leona Vale took her first breath in centuries. Her eyes opened as the glass of her cryopod slid. Away, she coughed once, then stood tall. Status. She asked the ship's AI outpost Sentinel reports early awakening. Hostile contact confirmed. Reawakening command protocol Alpha initiated. Leona's voice was sharp. That means war. Not yet, the AI replied, but soon. Walked to the main deck window and looked out into the darkness. So many stars. So many lies. The galaxy had forgotten who protected it once. She smiled. They'll remember. Back in Yenna space, Captain Rawl stood before the High Council once again. This time he didn't bring a broken satellite or old stories. This time, he brought proof. The Shattucklaw's footage played on the Council's grand screen, the glowing pods, Commander Riven's voice, and the sight of humans waking from deep sleep. The room was silent, until Minister Care finally spoke. How many? How many are waking up? Rawl answered quietly. Thousands. Maybe more. The room exploded in panic. Prepare the fleet. Tack before they spread. Destroy that station. Rawl raised his voice. You don't understand? That wasn't their main base. It's just one outpost. A forward watchtower. There could be dozens, be hundreds. The ministers froze. Minister Care sat down slowly. Then, it may be too late. One voice remained calm. Admiral Vax, old and scarred from wars past, stared at the screen and said, the legends were true. The warriors of Earth, the ones who stopped the Growl Swarm, the ones who stood alone when everyone else ran. We looked around the room. We thought they died. They didn't. They just stepped back and watched us forget. Meanwhile, inside Outpost Sentinel, the last pod opened. Commander Riven helped the man inside rise. He was old, his hair silver, but his eyes were sharp. His name was General Maddox, Supreme Commander of the United Earth Defense. He looked around. How long? He asked. Over 1,000 years, sir, Riven replied. Maddox nodded once. Status: partial awakening. Vengeance is active. Other outposts: status unknown. Maddox rubbed his chin. We sleep for peace. They wake us for war, Riven said. They thought we were gone. Maddox gave a cold smile. That's their first mistake. He stepped toward the control panel. The screen lit up with a map of the galaxy, dozens of blinking red dots across far systems. Human outposts. Hidden, silent, waiting. Send the signal. Maddox ordered. It's time. Riven hesitated. Sir, if we do this, there's no going back. Maddox pressed the button himself. The signal left Outpost Sentinel, traveling through hidden channels, buried relays, and ancient systems across the galaxy. In quiet moons and forgotten planets, machines received the message. Awaken. Lights turned on, doors opened, and more humans began to rise, Captain. Raal watched the reports come in, new power signatures in forbidden sectors. Ships activating in dead systems, codes of old Earth tech. He whispered to himself, they were never dead. They were sleeping. ... Waiting. And now the entire galaxy would feel the weight of their return. But the real question remained. Were the humans here to protect the galaxy again? Or punish it? The Yenneer Empire was preparing for war. Inside the grand military spire on planet Tiraz, thousands of ships were getting ready. Fighters, bombers, cruisers, and dreadnoughts, all standing by with weapons armed. The council had made their decision. Attack. First, do not let the humans grow stronger. Captain Raal stood in silence, watching the chaos unfold. He had warned them. He had seen the sleeping army with his own eyes. But no one listened. Admiral Korvik pointed at the galactic map. Our target is clear, Outpost Sentinel. We hit them hard, hit them fast, and wipe out everything before more humans wake up. Raal stepped forward. If we strike them now, we won't be stopping a war. We'll be starting one, Korvik growled. You're afraid of myths, Raal replied. I've seen the myth walk. I've heard it speak. You are not ready. But the council had already sent the fleet. 500 ships. The largest attack force in Yenneer history. They called it Operation Starfell. At the edge of the asteroid field, Outpost Sentinel was quiet. Cold, still, but inside, it was ready. The last systems had finished rebooting. Weapons were loaded. Defenses were active. And the crew of warriors, now fully awake, stood at their battle stations. Commander Riven stood beside General Maddox on the command deck. The Yenneer fleet is coming, Riven said. Maddox didn't blink. Let them. A hologram appeared. It was Captain Leona Vale from the Un's Vengeance. Our scans show 500 enemy ships, she said. Shall we engage? Maddox gave a cold smile. No. Riven raised an eyebrow.
Ow!
No, not yet, Maddox said. Let them get close. Let them think we're scared. The Yenneer fleet arrived in formation, powerful and confident. Admiral Korvik stood proudly on his flagship. The Fury's crown prepared a fire. They expected silence. They expected fear. Instead, they heard a voice. A message from Outpost Sentinel, broadcast to every Yenneer ship. This is General Maddox of the United Earth's Defense. Korvik shouted, ignore it, fire now. But before they could launch even one missile, the stars changed. 10 human ships appeared from hyperspace. But these were not ordinary ships. Each one was massive, older than any living Yenneer. Shaped like nothing ever seen before, they looked like floating cities. They were Earth's ancient dreadnoughts. Titans from a forgotten time, and they moved fast. The first one. UNS Vengeance opened fire. A single beam of blue light shot across the black void. It didn't explode. It cut clean through 3 Yenneer cruisers in 1 second. The fleet panicked. Evade. Shields up. Return fire, Korvik screamed. But it was no use. The dreadnoughts moved like hunters. They didn't fight for glory. They fought to end wars, within minutes. Half the Yenneer fleet was gone. The rest tried to run, but the human ships didn't chase. They stopped. General Maddox appeared again on every enemy screen. This was not revenge. This was a reminder. We left the galaxy because it chose chaos. We slept so peace could grow. But now, you bring war to our door again. This was your first and last warning. On the Fury's crown, Admiral Korvik stood trembling. His fleet, the pride of his empire, had been crushed like paper. They didn't even use full force, he whispered. Captain Rahl, watching from a separate ship, knew the truth. Humans hadn't attacked. They had responded. Back on Outpost Sentinel, Riven walked beside Maddox in silence. We could have destroyed all of them, Riven said. We didn't need to, Maddox replied. But why let them go? Maddox stopped. Because fear fades. But memory lasts longer. They'll tell the others. Ow. The rest of the galaxy will hear what happened here. He looked out at the stars. And next time they might think before pulling the trigger. Riven nodded slowly. Are we at war again? Maddox answered, not yet. But the galaxy just remembered who we are. In a small back room of the Yenir government, a secret meeting was taking place. Some wanted to retaliate. Some wanted peace. And one whispered something dangerous. What if humans don't stop? What if they spread? We must build a weapon, something to destroy their homeworld, Earth. The seeds of the next disaster were already being planted, but far away. In hidden corners of space, more human ships were waking, in old colonies, and silent moons on deep ocean worlds. They received the signal, the message from Maddox, and they knew what it meant. Humanity is back, and they will never be caught sleeping again. Captain Rahl sat alone in the Yenir archives, far beneath the capital city. The room was cold, filled with dust and silence. Ancient files blinked on glowing panels, untouched for hundreds of years. He wasn't supposed to be here. This part of the archive was restricted, sealed by order of the Council long ago. It held truths they didn't want anyone to see. But after what happened at Outpost Sentinel, Rahl needed answers. Who were the humans really? And why had the galaxy forgotten them? He opened the first file, the Graal Wars, a strange alien species. The Graal had attacked the galaxy 1,200 years ago. Planet after planet had fallen. No one could stop them. Not the Yenir, not the Kalari, not the Zareen. But then, humans came. Rahl scrolled through the data. Images of massive battles. Human ships glowing with unknown tech. Ground forces fighting even after losing limbs. Explosions. Victories. The final entry shocked him. The humans stopped the Graal alone. They didn't ask for help. They didn't wait for backup. And when the war was won, they disappeared. No medals, no demands. Just silence. Rahl sat back, stunned. They didn't want power, he whispered. They wanted peace. He kept reading. The Burning Pact War, the humans fought against 5 empires when those empires turned on each other. The Void Massacre humans saved a colony of aliens who once tried to wipe them out. The Silent Skies, Treaty humans, ended a war without firing a shot by disabling every weapon in orbit using a mysterious EMP field. Again and again. The pattern was clear. Humans fought when needed, but never stayed to rule. Then he found a final entry. One that made his blood run cold. Project Sleepwalker, a secret human mission. The file explained it, after centuries of war. Humans saw what the galaxy had become, power-hungry, greedy, violent. So they made a choice. Disappear. They hid. Their colonies shut down their networks. Put entire fleets into cryosleep. Left warning satellites behind. They didn't lose. They chose to vanish. Rahl stood and whispered. They didn't go extinct. They gave the galaxy a chance. Meanwhile, in human space, General Maddox was standing before a group of newly awakened commanders. His eyes were tired, but full of purpose. We built peace once, he said. But now we see the galaxy hasn't changed. Captain Leona Vale stepped forward. Yenir forces are regrouping. We intercepted a message. Someone wants to destroy Earth itself. Maddox nodded. We knew this would happen. But why not stop them now? Leona asked. Maddox looked at her because sometimes history is a stronger weapon than fire. He walked toward a giant hologram, showing hundreds of hidden human bases across the stars. Send the full truth to every race. The wars we fought, the ones we saved, the sacrifices we made. Show them what the council buried. And so, the humans did what they always did best. They spoke with action. Encrypted transmissions were sent across the galaxy not as threats, but as history. Aliens on distant worlds began receiving strange broadcasts. Holograms of battles long erased. Videos of humans pulling injured alien children from burning buildings. Soldiers giving food to enemies after victory. A Zareen elder broke down in tears. Watching a video of a human pilot saving her father during the Grawl Wars. I was told humans were monsters, she whispered. They were our guardians. All across the galaxy, confusion grew. People started to question what they were told. If humans were truly evil, then why had they disappeared after saving everyone? Back in the Yenir capital, the council panicked. They're spreading lies, one shouted. But Admiral Vax, the old warrior, stood up. They're not lies. I remember the Grawl. I saw human ships fall from the sky to protect a planet that wasn't even theirs. The council fell silent. Captain Roll returned from the archives, holding the classified files. These records were hidden. But now they're open. The people will know. In the shadows, a small group of Yenir leaders met in secret. One slammed his fist on the table. If we don't act now, we lose control. Humanity will rise again. Another said, let's end it. Build the weapon. Race Earth completely. They all agreed. A secret project was launched. Project Ashfall. A super weapon designed to destroy a planet in one shot. Its target, Earth. But Earth was not unguarded, far beneath its surface. Under miles of rock, another sleeping army waited. Older than the one in Outpost Sentinel, larger, built for the final war. And as the stars grew darker, a signal echoed inside their chambers. Prepare. The galaxy stood at a crossroads. One path led to peace, the other to ashes. And in the middle of it all stood humanity. Captain Roll was no longer trusted by the Yenir Council. After he revealed the truth about the humans and their forgotten sacrifices, many called him a traitor. Some called him a hero. He didn't care. All he cared about was stopping the next war. Because now, he knew the Council had started Project Ashfall, a secret plan to build a weapon strong enough to destroy Earth in one blast. Not just attack it, erase it. In a hidden moonbase orbiting Yenir Prime. The weapon was being built, a machine the size of a city, powered by stolen tech. It could fire across star systems, targeting a planet's core. One strike. No survivors. The scientists called it the End Ray. No one outside the Council and military knew, but Rawl found out. He had a decision to make. Meanwhile, human territory, General. Maddox stood on the deck of the Un's Vengeance, reviewing intercepted transmissions. They're building something, Commander Riven said. Big, silent, hidden. Captain Leona Vale added, we've traced energy spikes to a moon near Yenir Prime. It matches super weapon activity. Maddox looked down at Earth on the screen. His home, still beautiful, still quiet. They know they can't beat us in open battle, he said, so they'll try to erase us. He took a long breath. Prepare the fleet. But wait. Riven blinked. Wait, sir. Maddox nodded. Someone might still choose peace. That someone was Captain Roll. He sent a secret message to Human Command, encoded in an old Earth dialect, one only the humans would understand. I do not agree with them. They fear you because they do not know you. I offered this. Allow me to destroy the weapon. In return, give the galaxy a second chance, the one you already gave once before. It was a dangerous gamble. The human response came within minutes. Short, direct. We remember you. You have until sunrise. Rawl acted fast. With the help of a few loyal officers, he hijacked a small cruiser and flew toward the MO and baser. Inside, guards tried to stop him. They failed. He used EMPs to disable the weapon systems, then planted explosives around the energy core. As alarms rang, he sent one last message to both sides. The weapon is disarmed. I chose peace. Now it's your turn. Then, he disappeared. The Yenneer Council was furious. He betrayed us, sided with monsters. Launch the war now. But something strange happened. They didn't hear back from their generals. Instead, soldiers across the Empire began questioning orders. Citizens flooded networks with footage of human kindness, of truth, of forgotten history, and then came a message. Not from Rawl, not from Maddox, from itself. A simple broadcast played across the galaxy. A human girl stood in a field on Earth. Behind her were trees, animals, blue skies, peace. She looked into the camera. We don't want war. We woke up because you came to us with fear. But we're still human. We still hope. We still forgive. Then the screen faded to black, and a single line appeared. Make the next choice the right one. In secret chambers, leaders of other alien races gathered. The Kolari, once feared humans, now sent envoys to speak with them. The Zareen offered an apology for past betrayals. Even the Drusari, cold and silent for centuries, said one word: respect. The galaxy, slowly, was waking up again, not in fear of humans, but in memory of their mercy. But not everyone wanted peace. One last council member, desperate to regain control, tried to restart Project Ashfall. He failed, because something unexpected happened. A human dreadnought, the Un's Night Star, arrived in orbit over Yenneer Prime. But it did not fire. It simply hovered, silent, watching. A reminder, back on Earth. General Maddox sat with Commander Riven and Captain Leona Vale. We've been tested, Maddox said, and this time, someone chose the right path. Riven asked, so what now? Maddox looked up at the stars. Now, we offer peace. One more time. And if they choose war again, he stood and walked toward the main deck. We will. Remind them why legends are born from truth. Far away, in the ruins of the moon base, a single human drone hovered quietly. It recorded the broken weapon, the dead silence, and sent a message back to Earth. Captain Roll chose peace. He may have died for it. But now, the choice belongs to the galaxy. The galaxy was holding its breath. Yenneer Prime was quiet. Earth was watching. Not all across space, ancient human ships hovered like silent gods. They didn't move, they didn't fire. They waited because one choice could change everything. In the sky above Yenneer's capital city, the human dreadnought Un's Night Star remained in orbit. Its shadow stretched across the planet, larger than anything the Yenneer had ever seen. Inside the council hall, fear and confusion filled the air. The weapon is gone. Our fleet is broken. They're not attacking us. Why? Old Admiral Vex stood before the council. They're waiting, he said, waiting to see who we really are. The council's power was collapsing. Cities across Yenneer were filled with peaceful protests, alien and Yenneer citizens alike demanding truth, and one name kept rising from every voice. Captain Roll, the man who chose peace and vanished to protect it. On Earth, the skies were bright. Humanity had returned, but they were not celebrating war. Instead, they were preparing broadcasts, rebuilding connections, opening channels to every alien species, even enemies. General Maddox stood before the leaders of the United Earth's defense. This time, we do not conquer, he said. We lead. Commander Riven added, the galaxy doesn't need soldiers. It needs examples. Captain Leona Vale looked out from the Un's vengeance, orbiting Earth, and smiled. For the first time in 1,000 years, the galaxy is listening. One by one, alien worlds responded. The Zareen offered alliance talks. The Kolari began repairing an old Earth-human embassy. Even the silent Varnak, known for never speaking, sent a single word to Earth's channel. Respect. But not. All were ready. A secret group of Yenneer extremists launched a final attack. A suicide fleet of 10 ships, racing toward Earth at LIGHT's PEED. Their plan hit Earth's surface before anyone could react, cause panic, start war. But Earth was no longer unprotected. Above Earth, in high orbit, Project Haven was now online. A human defense network, invisible, silent. Deadly dot as the 10 Yenner ships entered the solar system, they were met by a voice. You had a choice. 10 beams of pure energy, silent, fast, struck the ships. Just gone. Destroyed in space, not one ship reached Earth. The message was clear: humanity forgives, but it does not forget. And then it happened. A broadcast from an unknown source appeared on every galactic screen. No encryption. No threats. Just a symbol. A silver star inside a blue circle, the ancient emblem of the United Earth Defense. And a voice spoke. We are humanity. We return not to conquer, but to remember. Long ago, we protected you. Then we stepped back to give you peace. We watched. We waited. And when you forgot us, you feared us. But fear does not build the future. Understanding does. Now, we offer a new path. Shared peace, shared progress, shared stars. But know this. If darkness rises again, we will stand. Not as rulers. Not as monsters. As legends made real.
The speech echoed across galaxies, and in a quiet chamber on Yenir Prime, a child watched it with wide eyes. Mom, the child said, are humans scary?
His mother smiled softly, wiping tears from her eyes. No, she said. They're protectors. The kind who stand up, even when others sit down. Years passed. Human and alien diplomats sat at the same tables. Joint fleets explored deep space. Trade ships carried both Earth tech and alien art. And statues of Captain Rahl were raised, not just on Yenir, but even on Mars. He became a symbol of choice. The one who chose peace over pride. And Earth, it stayed quiet. Still blue, still green, still watching, but now no one doubted what lay under its skies. Not weakness, not fear, but fire, sleeping in silence, in the center of human space. A museum was built, the Hall of the Forgotten Wars. Inside it, a plaque read, we could have. Destroyed, we chose to protect. We were feared, we chose to forgive. We were forgotten. We chose to return. Humanity and, across the galaxy, children of all species began learning about the humans not as monsters, but as legends who walked among stars, not in stories, not in dreams, but in truth.